So welcome, everybody. My name's Jackie Rigoni. I'm the Poet Laureate for Belmont, but I'm not here with you tonight as the Poet Laureate. I'm actually just here as Jackie, an educator, a mother, and an ally in solidarity with Black Americans and people of color to protest the killing of George Floyd and too many others before him. In times of struggle, we often turn to poetry to speak that which we can't find words for, which is why, together with San Mateo County Poet Laureate Aileen Cassinetto, my fellow poets, community leaders, and friends, we've organized this pop-up poetry protest. And thank you to all of the folks who joined, and I just notified them yesterday about what we were organizing, and they all jumped in. So it's amazing what we pulled together. As a white person, I am here as your fellow listener. So that way the floor goes to the voices we need most right now. One thought I would like to say is that a protest is not meant to be comfortable or easy. And so I encourage you to keep an open mind and an open heart if you find yourself challenged. And then afterwards, we all of us here hope that you leave here inspired to commit to one thing, at least, that you can do to change the subjects of the poems that are yet to be written for our collective future. Thank you all for being here. I'd like to introduce Vicki McKinney from the Chicago Mass Choir. She's here from Chicago to sing an opening song for us.
Ready? Okay. Hey guys, so that was a great intro, Jackie. I didn't know you would mention the choir. Yes, I sing background. Let me emphasize that for the Chicago Mass Choir. It is my honor and my privilege to bring gospel music to the masses. We've traveled, internationally as well as, stateside, and it's just a blessing to be able to be with a group of people who, have the same beliefs and who just want to inspire others and just want to spread love through song. I'm trying to cue up my music really quick. Jackie literally reached out to me today. I do not, let me emphasize that, I do not like singing solos. I don't like singing by myself. But Jackie and I go back to, gosh, it has to be grade school. I love her. I love her energy, and I love what she's putting out in the world. So, and then there's a musical history with her family. They introduced me to music, just being available, having instruments available, sheet music, et cetera, et cetera. Having a little technical difficulty over here. So anyway, I just told her there's no way I could say no to her. So I'm gonna give it my best, and that's gonna be that. You ready? Is it on? Can you hear it, the music? Okay. I was born by the river in a little tent. Oh, and just like the river, I've been running ever since. It's been a long time coming, but I know a change gonna come. Oh, yes, it will. It's been too hard living, but I'm afraid to die, 'cause I don't know what's up there beyond the sky. It's been a long time coming, but I know a change gonna come. Oh, yes, it will. I go to the movie and I go downtown. Somebody keeps telling me, don't hang around. It's been a long time coming, but I know a change gon' come. Oh, yes, we. Then I go to my brother. I say, brother, can you help me, please? But he winds up knocking me down. Back down on my knees. There's been times that I thought I wouldn't last for long, but now I think I'm able to carry on. It's been a long time coming, but I know a change gonna come. Oh, yes, it will.
Thank you, Vicki. Thank you. Davina is the Belmont council member, and she's up to read. Thank you, Davina.
Wow, thank you, Vicki.
There you go.
I was basically thanking Vicki for her song. It's very close to home. My father used to play that all the time on the weekend, so it's a very touching, moving song. Thank you, Vicki. There is much pain in our community today, and as a community leader, as a mother, as a sister, I want to embrace all of you with words of hope and solidarity, but it's not easy. Today, we have to embrace, once again, uncomfortable facts and truths, and we have to be better. And we have to be better together, and we have to learn to live together or we will perish together. I understand, and I've heard from folks that having this poetry protest will not be understood by everyone, but we all process differently. Processing racism, brutality, violence, the need for empathy. And I think, and I'm happy that we're all doing this together. I think, like many of you, I've gone through a gamut of emotions from so many Black lives lost. And I want to say once again, imagine walking around every day of your life on guard. Which direction will it come from? Will it be subtle racism? Will it be overt? Will it be painful? When I saw the video, it was very painful, and it reminded me of things my father and my brother talk about when they go out of the house and what they're worried about every day. And so it makes me think about the word freedom. And so the poem I chose to read is A Caged Bird by Maya Angelou. What does it mean for freedom? It's different for different people, but one thing for sure, we all strive for it, we all need it. And so I'm gonna leave these words with you tonight. A free bird leaps on the back of the wind and floats downstream till the current ends, and dips his wing in the orange sun rays, and dares to claim the sky. But a bird that stalks down in his narrow cage can seldom see through his bars of rage. His wings are clipped and his feet are tied, so he opens his throat to sing. The cage bird sings with a fearful trill of things unknown but longed for still, and his tune is heard on the distant hill, for the cage bird sings of freedom. The free bird thinks of another breeze, and the trade winds soft through the sighing trees, and the fat worms waiting on a dawn bright lawn, and he names the sky his own. But a cage bird stands on the grave of dreams. His shadows shouts on a nightmare scream. His wings are clipped and his feet are tied, so he opens his throat to sing. The caged bird sings with a fearful trill of things unknown but longed for still, and his tune is heard on the distant hill, for the caged bird sings of freedom.
Thank you, Davina Hurt. Kalimah Salahuddin is the Jefferson Union High School District Board President. Thank you for being here to read.
No problem. Thank you for having me here. First, I just want to say to Vicki, thank you for singing. That was one of my father's favorite songs too, and mine as well. So thank you for sharing and doing that. I'm a mom. I have 3 kids. I have twin girls that are 22 years old, and I have a son who's 24, and he has autism. And I am feeling blessed for shelter in place because I have been able to keep him inside all week. And sorry. I have not watched the video because I can't bring myself to, because anytime I see something like that, all I see is my son. And I think about the amount of time that I spend in service to this county. And I just wish that there was more done to keep my son safe and my children safe. I don't know what to tell them. I don't know what to tell them about when people are going to see them as human enough. So that has been my struggle all week. And I know that this was supposed to help people feel hopeful, but I don't have any to give to my own kids right now. So I'm hoping that something changes, because I'm exhausted and I don't want my children to have to feel this way about their children. So I'm going to read the poem. It will happen. An honest mistake in a hot August classroom. Someone will blink at the name and swear, this Michael Brown? Can't be that Michael Brown. Or someone will be too busy with her head down finishing syllabi to look up and see the flash grenades and tear gas. Someone will be running late, his mind on the cops that will probably ticket him for not having a permit. Someone won't see why a name is such a big deal. Someone will read his name like the next item on a list of groceries and move to the next student before the first groan rumbles through the stale Missouri air. Someone will start to speak his name and then cover his mouth like a Roman priest closing Janus's door and praying, all the violence of the world will stop short of his porch. Someone will ask, Michael Brown? Is Michael Brown here? And we will all have to answer. Thank you.
Thank you, Kalimah. We're all here with you. Thank you. So next up is Aileen Cassinetto, a fellow organizer with me. She's a San Mateo County Poet Laureate.
Thank you for that, Kalimah. I'm here as a poet of color, as an Asian American, and I stand in solidarity with the family of George Floyd and the community who fought for the civil rights I now possess, the same rights that allow me to protect Black lives because they matter. I will be reading a poem by Minnesota poet Danez Smith. Alternate names for Black boys. 1, smoke above the burning bush. 2, arch nemesis of summer night. 3, first son of soil. 4, coal awaiting spark and wind. 5, guilty until proven dead. 6, oil heavy starlight. 7, monster until proven ghost. 8, gone. 9, phoenix who forgets to unash. 10, going, gone. 11, gods of shovels and black veils. 12, what once passed for kindling. 13, fireworks at dawn. 14, brilliant shadow, hued coral. 15, I thought to leave this blank, but who am I to name us nothing? 16, prayer who learned to bite and sprint. 17, a mother's joy and clutched breath.
Thank you, Aileen. Our next reader is Amos White. He popped off momentarily. And I'm not sure if he made it back on. Got a lot of folks. There you are. Amos, are you here?
Yeah, 1 second.
White is a haiku poet from the Bay Area.
Thank you. Yeah, this has been a very difficult week. I won't belabor the sentiment and depth of basically grieving that so many of us are experiencing. To my fellow African Americans, both here, or here, I should say. I don't even know what to say. This has been surreal. to actually, quote, witness what basically is your own image of your uncle, your brother, your neighbor, yourself. It's not just that hearing it again and again, but it's completely taken a new dimension. I'm glad, thank you for putting this together and hosting this and bringing us all together, both in solidarity, and in support, because right now we really do need it. And I am really grateful for just this opportunity to, not me, I guess, to be seen, but also just, it's not for me to be heard in so much as it is that you are all showing up. And that means more to me, to see collectively that sense that people care. People care. So thank you. I didn't want to go heavy as I started to do something. My haiku are usually reserved for moments of just beauty, and I don't compose in haiku on moments like this. So here's a poem to tie us into it. A very similar event. Emmett Till slays James Means. It's not 1955. Emmett Till was lynched for looking at a white woman, for bumping into a white man. 15-year-old James Means gets murdered. That's 2016. Now, in 2020, George Floyd finds that taking a knee means cold pavement. This is the normalization of hate. The murderer shot James twice in the abdomen, leaving him to die. The murderer proceeded to go home, eat dinner, then go hang out at a friend's house. After the murderer's arrest on Tuesday morning, he expressed no remorse whatsoever for killing the teen. He simply said, the way I look at it, that's another piece of trash off the street. That was a found poem. Actually, it was an article after James Means was shot, which really made me think about Emmett Till and how my mother, when I was a child, told me the story of Emmett Till. Early 60s, 1968. I was like 4 or 5. I'll never forget during the Vietnam War, and how she kept linking it to the faces of Black boys and why it was so important that Mrs. Till, I don't know his mother's full name, but why she insisted on having an open casket. And now that with Facebook and social media, that wasn't just an open casket, it was an open lynching that the world now has participated in. And for what that now means as it ties to Emmett and as it ties to the whole of the Black experience in America, it really peels off, I think, a veneer that those who were not Black really could not access in terms of our experience. So thank you again for holding this and for bringing us together, and thank you for listening.
Thank you, Amos, for being here. I'm really glad we found each other through this.
Likewise.
Shuck is the San Francisco Poet Laureate.
Yeah, we got to watch a torture murder. And about 8 years ago, my daughter was suffocated. We don't have video of that. So I don't know if she called my name while she was dying. And I'm grateful that his mother wasn't still around to see it. I'm getting pretty frustrated with the people who keep looking up and going, when did this start? This was as nice about it as I could be. It's Quarantine Poem 73. There's a trick you need to learn, you who are gasping with realization, held in place by a handful of sacred ballast you've coughed up in the last few months. Catch your breath. We don't have much time to wait for you to get your footing. Drop some of those stones. Cry for them later. This is where you lose things. Some of them are precious to you, and someday you will need to mourn. When that day comes, make a ceremony of it. But now, in the next breath, you must decide, will you be part of the solution? I decided not to do a project that was scheduled with the Twin Cities because it involved taking a bunch of young Native and Black men into places that I could not be sure they would be safe. The project's for next year. I'm leaving it slightly open to see if I can do it, but I'll come up with another project to give them the experience that that would have given them. And I wish we could do it in person, but I cannot imagine what I would feel like if one of my charges ended up dead while I was working with them. And that's all I have to say about that right now. Thank you for doing this.
Thank you so much, Kim. Michael Smith is the Redwood City, on the Redwood City Planning Commission.
Thank you so much, Jackie, for including me in this. Over the last few days, I haven't been able to sleep. I haven't been able to sleep for a few reasons. That horrible video of just the inhumanity that was displayed in broad daylight is just continually shocking. And it is something that constantly is playing over and over in my mind. And I probably shouldn't be looking at those videos anymore, but I can't look away. And I'm also not able to sleep because I wonder if there will ever be a time when it will be my turn, to be honest with you. I'm a established, educated, younger Black man, but when I'm out in the street, I don't know if that's what people see at all. And the poem I'm about to read is about humanity and recognizing that Black men have inherent humanity that we have been fighting to have recognized since 1619, when the first Black slave was brought into this country. And so I'll be reading Boy Breaking Glass by Gwendolyn Brooks. It begins, whose broken window is a cry of art, success that winks aware as elegance as a treasonable faith, is raw, is sonic, is old-eyed premier. Our beautiful flaw and terrible ornament, our barbarous and metal little man. I shall create. It's not a note, a whole. It's not an overture. It's a desecration, full of pepper and light and salt and night and cargoes. Don't go down the plank. If you see there's no extension, each to his self, each to his grief, each to his loneliness and fidgety revenge. Nobody knew where I was, and now I'm no longer there. The only sanity is a cup of tea. The only music is in minors. Each one other is having different weather. It was you. It was you who threw away my name. And this is everything I have for me. Who has not Congress, lobster, love, luau, the Regency Room, the Statue of Liberty, runs, a sloppy amalgamation, a mistake, a cliff, a hymn, a snare, and an exceeding sun.
Thank you, Michael. I'm glad you're here. Noelia Corzo is the San Mateo County School Board trustee.
It's actually the San Mateo-Foster City School Board.
Oh, sorry about that. Thank you.
Thank you for having me and for inviting me. Something that's really been on my mind lately is a video, not a video of, it's a different kind of video. It's a video of Stefan, the man that was killed in Sacramento, of his brother going to city council chambers and really just, you know, expressing his emotions. And there was a voiceover made of that video because of some of the tactics used in that space to keep him safe as he spoke what was on his heart. And it was a video of basically demonstrating the difference between an ally and an accomplice. And so in this video, you can see how two whiter folks, I think they were, one was possibly Asian, one was Latino, I believe, but definitely whiter skinned, how they physically put their bodies in between the police and Stefan's brother, who, you know, at some point even got onto like a podium or on like the dais, and they were physically putting themselves in between to make sure that he was okay, that he could say his piece and that he wouldn't be arrested, that he wouldn't be harmed. And something else that I learned from this video recently was that the woman that did the voiceover, an African-American woman, she kind of called people out and said, I'm glad that this video is being reshared right now and it's going viral all over again. But I want African-American love and joy and all of the beauty to be shared to that same extent, right? Not just the pain, not just people being murdered, right? Like, you need to be an ally and an accomplice at all times, and not just when things are not great, right? It's definitely important to step up as best you can all the time, but that really just spoke to me. And something else that kind of speaks to me is just remembering when it's kind of my turn to just step back and listen and support. So I'll just read my poem now, but I just wanted to share that. How to Make a Cardboard Box Disappear in 10 Steps by Clint Smith. Number 1, find the scissors. Number 2, cut the sides of the cube. Number 3, attend the rally of Trayvon Martin. Number 4, attend the rally of Renisha McBride. Number 5, attend the rally of Jordan Davis. Number 6, attend the rally of Michael Brown. Number 7, attend the rally of Eric Garner. Number 8, attend the rally of Freddie Gray. Number 9, find another empty box. Number 10, attend the rally of... Thank you.
Thank you, Noelia. I just wanted to check in. I don't think Tongo is here. So we will move on to, we're actually coming into a close here. So we actually have one last poem since Tongo's not here. What I was gonna show you first was, let me share a screen here. And I'll let Lois Freed close with the last poem. But I wanted to share this, this with you. If you're interested in more poetry, poetry and protest, the book on the left there is From Emmett Till to Trayvon Martin. There's a, it's available on Bookshop, which is where you, which gives your money to independent booksellers. On the right is a curriculum, We Charge Genocide Again, that this curriculum is written by Tongo Eisen-Martin, and who is gonna read tonight. And so if you are homeschooling, if you are an educator, there's some great curriculum to continue the conversation with young people. Lois Freed is a Belmont community member.
Thank you, Jackie. My heart is full. I'll certainly try and get through this poem. This poem by Ross Gay was written about Eric Garner, who spoke his last words 11 times. I can't breathe. 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 While Officer Daniel Panaleo held him in a chokehold. It's called a small, needful fact. A small, needful fact is that Eric Garner worked for some time for the Parks and Rec Horticultural Department, which means perhaps that with his very large hands, perhaps in all likelihood, he put gently into the earth some plants which most likely, some of them, in all likelihood, continue to grow, continue to do what such plants do, like house and feed small and necessary creatures, like being pleasant to touch and smell, like converting sunlight into food, like making it easier for us to breathe.